Hi, my name is Khizzer Alam. When I was 18 years old, I moved to Denmark for a year and a half, and I was isolated when I lived there. I didn't speak any Danish, and I didn't have any community when I started there. So for someone very social like me, it was very tough. I went into a severe depression, psychosis. It was a very difficult time. At some point, I was visiting Pakistan and I was helping a friend get off of heroin. That was the first time I tried heroin. For 3 years, I was on and off of heroin. I was recently diagnosed with ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. I always knew that I had this energy, this stress in my body, and heroin was the thing that gave me that sense of calm and serenity that I badly needed. It wasn't until I got to rehab and got the opportunity to do yoga, meditation, I found out that actually I can get this sense of calm and confidence outside of heroin. I never wanted to be stuck on a drug, so I tried to leave it on my own a couple of times. I realized that I needed to seek professional help, so I decided to go to a drug rehabilitation center. The reason why I wanted to get help for heroin was not because of the negative consequences of the drug. It was because I had dreams. I had dreams to live, and I couldn't do that when I was on heroin. The first time I went to rehab was in Thailand. That was a 5 weeks stay, and that was barely enough for me to get through withdrawal. The second time I went to rehab was in Denmark, and over there they put me on a medication to reduce the symptoms of withdrawal from heroin. At the time I didn't speak Danish, so it was very tough for me to get anything out from the group therapy that happened there. I did benefit from one-on-one therapy. In therapy, I learned how to accept my emotions and tolerate them and process them, and that was very big. I had found it very difficult to cry up until then, and with therapy, I learned how to really feel my sadness and feel tears of gratitude. Through trauma therapy and meditation retreats, I really learned how to regulate my anxiety and find calm. I also did improvisation theater, where you build a story with other people, you learn how to let go, and you learn how to accept each other and yourself. Eventually, I began to teach this as well. Most importantly, having a community was very important for my recovery, especially a supportive and non-judgmental one. I'm currently supervising and training on a mental health hotline for corporates. I am also training to be a humanistic therapist and an emotion-focused therapist, and I'm going to continue on this path of mental health. I'd like to say to someone who's struggling with addiction that it can be very hard to imagine a life without drugs, but it is possible. Even if all you've known your whole life is pain and suffering, it is possible. I have done it and many others have too. There's always a way. A good starting point is to talk to a friend or to find a therapist. If it's more than that's needed, then I would recommend drug rehabilitation program. Depending on the severity of the person's addiction, it has to be evaluated by a professional. In my case, I realized that having a job was very important in lowering my anxiety and depression. Recovery from addiction is like a boxing match. You have one round, you fight, you lose, you win. You have another round, you fight, you lose, you win. You fight again. You begin again. It's completely understandable to go through relapse. I always say, when you get knocked down, begin again.